gotten the room pretty much done. I'm going to show you guys. So I have the tables in an awkward shape, but my intent is for this middle table here to kind of be like a last resort. Like, they won't sit there unless they absolutely have to. And of course all the stuff is coming off. I just have some last minute sorting to do. So basically it'll be partnered like there and there and there and here. And then if there is an overflow, the overflow will come right here. I pretty much have no more than 15. So I don't have a real big group, remembering that I do a lot of enrichment stuff. So college readiness and career readiness, that is a smaller group. So I don't anticipate having a real big amount. So I wanted it to be like a homey feel. And they'll also be moving. The way it's going to be rotating with problem-based instruction and IBL, which is inquiry-based. We're going to do a lot of small group stuff. So they'll be really working in shifts. So the way I have it planned and set up and the way it's been arranged, they really won't be in here the whole time anyway. So they'll pretty much be in and out in shifts. So let me show you my bookshelf. So my bookshelf is there. I still never found a plant to go back there. This light isn't on, but it looks dark. But I wanted something to go back here because I feel like it looks pretty plain. And I want something to go on this wall because this wall is plain right now. But I don't know what I'm going to put there. I'm definitely going to find something to go there. But in the meantime, this is the bookshelf, which I am somewhat pleased with, but I'm definitely going to get to those books. I just don't like the arrangement, but it's not too much I can do because they have to be there. My file cabinet, again, there's some stuff lying around because everything isn't done. This is the famous student center. Every year I have a student center, so I thought that was a cool touch. Shout out to my assistant, Mr. Daniel, for helping me with that. But he created that and sent it to me, and I was like, yes, it's gold. I laminated it, and I had help today, and I actually meant to cut this white part out, so it's just this square portion, but I didn't, and I guess it's fine like that, but I might still go back and cut that out. And then because history is the base of what I'm doing this year, stepping aside from science and study skills, and going towards history when we get into inquiry-based learning and partnerships and independent learning. I wanted to do more history stuff. So these here are helping me do that. I really wanted the room to have a history feel to it. And African American Studies is something that we will be doing this year. So with that in mind, I went for the African American approach, and I got a lot of my African American history because we have a lot of that here. And last year, a lot of the students were like, hey, it would be interesting to learn more about our culture. Because we were talking about cultural diversity last year. And they mentioned learning about African American Studies, which is not offered here. So this year, the plan is to incorporate that. So that is my core content area that I will be teaching in addition to college and career readiness. So I'm very excited about that. Really focusing on trying to bridge the achievement gap while meeting their needs and piquing their interest. So yeah, that is where I am. Oh, let me show you my shelf. So back here, I have been working really hard. I brought this carpet from home. It has some wrinkles in it, which I'm going to get out. I need to spray it. I'll kind of show y'all this too. So over here, I had to rearrange some stuff. Now I'll hold my camera like this because it's easier for me to do, even though I hate looking up. But I just don't like the whole do it like this angle. I feel like it makes my nose look big. But anyway, this is storage. I have to figure out where those go. These are my bins of wonders. I just put my junk in there. Then I have these two things, who kind of remind me of something from Paranormal Activity or one of those other creepy movies. I'll tell you what it reminds me of. The Amityville Horror. Right here. That's what that looked like. It looked like the chairs are haunted. In fact, I got that theory because my kids last year, when they had to work alone, I put them in those desks and they called them the haunted desk because they were old. I don't know. But one of them became because one I pulled from the classroom across the hall. But one of them was my workstation, and I would do my work in that station. And I was like, oh, because I found it comfortable to sit there. Of course, they're not haunted. I haven't seen anything. I just think they're old chairs that were donated. 'Cause that's normally how it goes here. Stuff is donated. We appreciate it, and we use it to death. And we use it till we can't use it no more. Because we believe in getting your money's worth out of equipment. So yeah, I have to sit you guys down. So yeah, it was, today was productive. I got my room done. It worked out because we had a lady here who had to, from the community, who basically came in to help as well. That's how I'm going to phrase that. Then we have a youth social worker, a youth janitor also. Basically, he's like a student who works on our campus, and he helped me out a whole lot. And looking at this room, I can feel the organization. It is like, wow, I can breathe. So yeah. Oh, and then another thing. Okay, so there's a hurricane coming, Hurricane Florence, and everyone, there's a store next door, literally, and it is crazy because the bread is gone, other stuff is gone. I've heard water is scarce, and this time last year we had some storms too, but they blew over. Sorry, I thought I heard someone coming. But because I'm here alone, and I didn't know if someone's coming down the hall, how would they get in? And I have to make sure I'm safe. But anyway, there was a storm, a threat for a hurricane last year. For future reference, if I ever pause like this, it means I hear something, and I'm in the building. Often, I'm always pretty much the last teacher in the building. Normally, I leave campus, and I'm the only car. Last year, when town changes around this time, it's black, dark, and there's no one here but me. And sometimes I'll be vlogging and I hear stuff. For my safety, I love y'all, but I'm going to stop. And I'm going to listen, because if somebody in the building, I need to be prepared to do my own personal, I guess, code red lockdown. So anyway, we had another hurricane several years back, and it was pretty bad. Sorry, there's something on the floor. So now, I guess people learned their lesson, and the stories just get crazy. So yeah, we are preparing. It's supposed to make landfall. It's coming from, I'm in North Carolina, for those of you who don't know. So it's going to make landfall. They're saying Thursday into Friday. Thursday is supposed to be our open house. We don't know. I'm banking on the fact we probably won't have an open house. What is up, everybody? I am on Teachers Connect right now. Because I posted something earlier, then I was also looking through. Shout out to Smarty Style and Real Rap Reynolds, who turned me on to this. And I'm also doing my syllabus. I'm going to show you that too. I'm working on, oh, that's my old one. This is the new one. I gave it a facelift. And trying to get my information together. Presentation. Traditionally, I don't normally do it like this. Like, here is where I'm struggling with classroom culture, because I wanted to, and I got two laptops. I got my laptop going, papers, one I'm referencing, and because I have to revise it, and then that is my curriculum and instruction overview that I'm trying to convert from here to here, and then I'm also referencing stuff from my early college job, which is on this laptop onto this computer. So I am going to move my computer so that I can, I almost dropped my computer, so that I can do this and set this up. So yeah, I am doing what seems to be too much right now at one time. So I'm trying to revise my syllabus because I wanted to look more college-like. Before I was doing middle school, so with middle school you cannot make it look college-like. You want it to be intriguing and friendly to the students and the parents, because the problem I ran into, no offense to any parents that might be watching, if the syllabus looks like a lot of words, they don't read it. And as sad as that is, parents are not reading the syllabus. And I know they're not reading because when I ask them questions, that are on the when they ask me questions, it's stuff that's on the syllabus. Weight of tests, the weight of quizzes. How come my child, what's this about? She can only go to the bathroom a certain amount of times per grading period, or per month. I used to do grading period, but that was too far. That was 8 weeks. So now I do it by month. You have 3 passes per month. You can earn another pass for helping me doing things in the room, good behavior, stuff like that. But if you need to use the bathroom, you get 3 bathroom passes. There's plenty of time because we have several breaks. You're not with me for long. My instruction time is 45 minutes. You can hold it 45 minutes, and you have 7 minutes in between. So there's no reason why you don't know, or you can't use the bathroom. And as for the parents, I understand why you don't know how I work. So yeah, they're not reading the syllabus. So I've always made it like user friendly, real colory and stuff like that. But this time, because it's college and career readiness, I wanted it to be more formal, because these kids, I'm back in the high school realm, I'm away from middle school, and I just wanted to set that standard going in, or as the children say, out the gate. So yeah, I wanted to have that real college look and to set the standard for them as well. So I'm changing all that around, and I like it too, because it actually looks like some of the syllabus I have seen, both in my professional career from professors I've had, in addition to some of the other early colleges that I have been to, because I have to observe some, and I just like the format, and I like the fact that here I'm bringing what I do at one job to another, and I just think it's great, because before me, I was told they started college readiness, but it was too broad, and it kind of sputter coughed and died. And for them to look at me and say, hey, this is an area where you're skilled, you know it, can you get up and run with it? Because I was prepared to get back into my study skills and go back into teaching that. But I'm really excited about doing college and career readiness, and I think it's great that it's introduced to both middle and high, because it's that perception of middle school is too soon for college. But the more they see it, the more it becomes normal, and it will become hopefully an expectation to where college won't be an option, but it would be a sure thing. I'm going to continue my education past high school, and then where I am is Title I. This, obviously it's extended day, so if they have it, it's probably because they need it. And this is a Title I area. A lot of struggles are evident. We have so many academic struggles here that don't define our children per se, but it really does show us how difficult it is for them. Because you have some who are lazy because they don't see the value of it, and then you have others who just simply don't get it. And then you have some who are just kind of coasting along. So this new course will really open the door for them on every level, no matter what the issue may be, and giving them that exposure, more than just because they've taken them to colleges and had people come out and talk. And that's good, but sometimes that's not enough. They just need that consistency and someone to demonstrate it. Because that's what got me going. I needed someone to come and talk to me. So, and if I would have had something like this when I was in high school, I wouldn't have been so indecisive. I wouldn't have dragged my feet like I did. It took me a lot longer to get certified than it should have, because I dragged my feet and I played around. Then when I got to college, studying won't happen, and I was in a whole other world. I'm not going to tell you everything I did, but it was not Christian-like, and I was doing other stuff, and ended up on academic probation my freshman year. My mom was on my case, lost my VA benefits because my grades were in the gutter, and then ended up having to pay that back, and this is just, all because of decisions that I made. So it just prolonged the process, and then people say, oh, that's college, and from what I hear, my seniors who have graduated and gone, it's like, yeah, that is normal. But I want them to go in with a focused mentality. Yeah, they're going to explore, and I get that, and that's part of growing up too. You party, you dip and you dabble, that's part of growing up. But I don't want them to do it so much to the point where it begins to cost them like it did me. You know, so yeah, long story short, I'm really excited about the course because it just opens up so many doors to them. And they deserve it. I believe students need my pastor, my bishop, Dr. Herman, here at Harvest Family Church. His wife, Pastor Rosa, was the educator for a long time, and you know, he often will reference her sometimes when he's teaching. And a while back he said, you know, we just really have to give our kids a fighting chance, and it comes from them having adults who constantly invest in them and constantly encourage them. And that was in like 2009. I was 19, getting ready to go into my first teaching job. That's when I was, you know, just experimenting, and I was going into middle school then. And, you know, that has always stuck with me, because that's exactly what our children don't have, is that extra push. And that adult who says, hey, I'm consistent with you, and I care about you, and I'm here because I'm invested in what you're doing. I'm not just here for the money, because the money ain't that good. Shout out to the people who won't give us a raise. But I'm here because I'm totally invested in you. I wanted to give a shout out to all of my first year teacher friends, because one of the things I'm noticing is in college, they don't teach you that teachers have a lot of roles, and sometimes you have roles like today where you kind of feel like this is not my job description. But it's necessary, like for us to be a case of emergency, to provide support for families who are going to need it. You know, it's pretty cool. I'm going to use these. I'm looking for dry erase markers. So you don't realize that that is something that is important, because you know, you're kind of thinking like, well, I'm a teacher, what can I do? But in our reality, it's one of those additional duties as assigned that's in your contract, and you just have to make sure you comply, because although it may not be something you think you have to do, it is what you have to do. So first year teachers, my message to you is be flexible. Don't be afraid to be flexible, and expect that, because teaching is not just standing up in a classroom telling kids do this, write this. You know, it's a whole lot more to it. And teachers are servant leaders in the community, and they don't tell you that in college. They just kind of, you know, give you all this other information, which is, I mean, it's all good information, but you have to really be prepared to serve. And when I talk to teachers, when I talk to other people in education, that's the one thing that you don't hear enough of, is serving. You know, I'm here to serve the students, I'm here to serve my staff, my administration. We're serving all the time. And you want to be in a position where you're willing to serve, because that's what they need, is your undivided service. And that's what we lack right now. We have people who are working, but they're not serving. And when you serve, it's with your heart. So I just thought I would tell you all that, because you also find yourself burnout and frustrated if you do not work with a servant mentality. You'll find yourself frustrated, and you don't want that, because it makes everything that you're doing harder to do, and it makes your job less enjoyable, and your years in education will be long and arduous, and you just don't want that. So you just have to take on a servant mentality, and that is not about me, it's about them. I'm building students, and you're also building their families. You're teaching all the time, and sometimes teaching isn't just in the format of a classroom. Sometimes teaching is you demonstrating something in your everyday practice, because you're not just teaching your kids, you're also teaching your colleagues, and you're teaching your administration, you're teaching the people in the community who service your school, and you're definitely teaching your families that you serve as well. and they need that professional. I was watching Shannon last night, and you know, she's on YouTube. I can't remember her YouTube name, but I think it's Shanna DTV, something like that. And she was talking about a situation that happened with a parent that she had, and you know, it just reminded me that we just have to really be, we have to be that person that we wish that we could deal with every day. And what I mean by that is, if I get a grumpy parent, I'm going to respond to them the way I really want them to respond to me. I want to show them respect when they're disrespectful, kindness when they're not so kind, love when they're when they're hating. You know, all of that stuff that you think you don't have to teach, and that you think people should already know, like courtesy, opening the door, saying thank you, complimenting them, or as you know, Reynolds said, speaking, talking to everybody. Who, if you're in my aura, if you turn the corner and we're facing and we're walking towards each other, you're in my aura. So I'm gonna hit you with, you know, what Reynolds taught me is the big old Mrs. Doubtfire. Oh, hello. Hello. And if it's awkward and I know that you probably don't want to respond to me, I'm gonna make it awkward. I'm gonna overshadow you with love, and I'm gonna say hi. How dare I walk past you and not acknowledge another human being, another amazing person who is passing me. You may not look so amazing, you may not seem so amazing, because you may not be that pleasant that day, but you are still a person that has life in their body, who has probably been through a lot, yet you still stand, and that is worth being celebrated. So I don't know your story, and I don't know what you've been through, but I'm going to celebrate you by saying hello, because I'm not going to ignore you. So that's what we do. And that kind of stuff, it really does make a world of difference. And as teachers, my pastor says that Christians should be the happiest people in the world. And I think teachers should be the happiest people in the world as well, because we are the one people, or we are the one job that fuels every other job known to man, and we teach all the time. So my battery's dying. I got to go. But I just wanted to give y'all that message. I will see y'all next week, because I'm probably not going to vlog tomorrow.
It's gonna all work out sooner than later. You don't have to worry about tomorrow. It's gonna work out in your favor.